Hello, this is Austin with Josh's Frogs, and today I'm going to be covering gut loading. So there are a variety of insect feeders that we can gut load here at Josh's Frogs. The most common one that we use here are the crickets. I have some 1/8" crickets here in one of our setups. But another good option that you can do are dubia roaches. I have some 1/4" dubia roaches here, some adult male dubia roaches here, and then another mealworms. These guys are all buried. And then superworms. All of these things are not really nutritionally complete when you feed them to your reptiles or amphibians. So what we like to do is we like to chop up green vegetables and carrots. We have our premium roach diet, which is enhanced with a lot of extra nutrients. It's not just your basic sustenance diet. And then this is an example of one of the sustenance diets. It's basically just to keep your crickets alive. It's not really something that is going to make them nutritionally complete. We do have a premium version of that as well, though. So what we like to do at Josh's Frogs is get our handy dandy food processor and mix all of this stuff together and make kind of a paste that has all of the water source and all of the nutrients that you want for your crickets, and putting it on a plate just allows us to keep everything nice and clean in here so that they're not spreading food and their waste all over the place. One of the main things that you're trying to do when you're gut loading a cricket or a dubia roach, a mealworm or a superworm, is enhancing the vitamin A content of those feeders. A lot of the greens that we use when we blend up the cricket food and our premium cricket food has a lot of extra vitamin A in it. The ideal time frame for when you are allowing your crickets or dubia roaches to gut load is about 48 hours. So you should be adding this food to your cricket bins 48 hours before you're planning to feed those crickets. If you get a lot of crickets in at a time, what you can do is get another smaller container and set that aside full of some of the crickets that you're going to plan on feeding, and just do that every day so that you're not having to spend a ton of extra money on gut loading, and then you can use the sustenance diet to just maintain those other ones as you need to. Because if you're not feeding out the crickets within those 48 hours, they could be losing that nutritional quality that you're looking for. We also have a what I like to call calcium, which is a water gel that has extra calcium in it. This is another one that is useful for gut loading because most feeder insects don't have enough calcium to properly sustain your animals. And if you aren't using something like this, you should be using a dust, calcium dust with D3 if your animals are kept inside, or without D3 if your animals are being kept outside, for those people that can do that. Because you want to aim for a calcium to phosphorus ratio of 2 to 1, and most feeder insects that are on the market do not have that. The one that we know of that is readily available in the hobby is the black soldier fly larva. Those guys are a great calcium source for your feeders, or for your animals, and you can use them just as a supplemental feeder. If you do feed your crickets or your roaches this calcium, you will need to make sure that you are planning to feed those specific crickets out within the next 24 hours. Insects are not good at processing calcium, and it eventually becomes lethal. So any of the crickets that you're planning to feed to your animals will die if you don't feed them out before that time frame. So with our mealworms and our superworms, the easy thing with these guys is to just blend our premium cricket food right into their bedding, which is typically bran flakes. So you can just mix that all in, and the mealworms and superworms will just eat through the bran flakes and, coincidentally, the premium cricket food. You can also throw in bits of carrot and other greens. A lot of people like to use sweet potatoes as well. Those are another one that's high in vitamin A. and you can have that as their water source, and it also gives them a bit of a nutrient boost. One of the ones that we work with and sell very frequently are fruit flies, and these guys cannot be gut loaded. Their digestive tracts are too small, and they process all of the nutrients much too quickly for them to be of any use to your animals. So what we like to do is always recommend using our calcium and vitamin mix with these. So we have Herptovite and calcium with D3. Another one that you can use is Repashy Calcium Plus. That is another all-in-one. It has a vitamin and calcium component to it. And you can use these every other feeding when you're feeding fruit flies, house flies, or green bottle flies. So I hope that this is helpful, that this will be able to help your animals going forward. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us on our many social medias or through email. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and check us out at joshsfrogs.com.